All right, guys, welcome back to H2H. We got myself and Tasos here. Tasos and I were just talking off camera how I pretty much need to win 7, not even pretty much, like factually need to win 7 of the next 8 weeks here in this head-to-head show to even have a chance at taking the title here in our first ever season of H2H. Because Tasos, you're coming off of another, I'm getting tired of saying this. I probably should have just pre-recorded this for the whole year and I could play this and save my voice, but you're coming off of another winning week over me. Last week was actually pretty competitive. It came down to the odds and the plays that we took and fade me. But I deserve to lose after taking the over in one of the sloppiest, low-scoring games of the year, the Vikings and the Raiders. So congrats to another win. Congrats for another win to you. You're now 10-4. I'm 4-10. I'm going to have a bruise on my ass from you spanking me. So I don't know, man. I'm going to keep trying for the people. We're going to take it week by week. Even if I'm mathematically eliminated, the show must go on. But congrats to you, but also screw you for just giving me pretty much no chance here. But there's a chance.
So you're telling me there's a chance? Listen, Ev, I wake up every morning, I just piss excellence. Okay, it's just that's the feeling lately. Like and you know what? This week I said it. I was watching the football. I was after that the Pat Fryermuth bet hit. I was like, all right, you got fade me. You know, not a great start. Like I kind of had a feeling you were gonna win.
Which, by the way, not to interrupt you, but that was I said 3 catches for 15 yards would cash because I didn't want to take his over in yards. I took his over in receptions. He had 3 catches for 18 yards. So
yeah.
So you know what?
Pretty good.
I should have gotten extra points for that, but I didn't.
I mean, if we're gonna go that route, I should have got extra points for that Vikings Raiders game because I literally straight up said like this bet sucks. Like this bet sucks. And you were like,
I said it, and you were like, nope, bad pick. That was your response, and I was like, damn it.
Now to be fair, I didn't know it'd be 3-0, but I knew it wouldn't be the over. But yeah, listen, I don't know what to say. Like I'm you know what? You're getting tired of me hearing it. I'm kind of getting tired of saying it. Like I'm running out of things to say. I don't know what to say anymore. I'm just like, hey, I won again. I don't really know what else to say at this point. Except I'm sorry. I'm sorry to the people at home. I'm sorry to Ev's friends and family. I'm just sorry. I'm sorry that I got to.
Do you know how many friends I've lost because of this show? People are like, I can't be. My girlfriend's like, geez, are you that big of a loser? But what I will say is that the fade me rounds, as I guess dictative of wins they were in the early part of this show and you know the earlier weeks of the show, I don't want fade me anymore. Like if you guys don't know what the fade me round is, stick till the end of the video. But I have been handing you wins for like 3 weeks in a row. Like
yeah,
that's
before this week, the previous 3 weeks, you gave me like big winners too, not just winners. Yeah, big winners.
Yep. So I mean, yes, I cashed this one, but obviously I took like more of a heavy favorite. But it's stressful out in these streets. But you just wake up, you know, have a coffee, walk your dog, stroll in, and just kick my ass. But you know what? This week may be different because we're taking it week by week. Maybe I'll have to double down. We'll do some like weekly bets or something because
making this pretty tough. If you had doubled down one of your 2 wins, you come out the winner this week. You lost off of just units barely. Because we both went 2-2.
Yeah, I think it was literally like 0.4 units you beat me by because I had a minus 150 and you had a minus 110. We both had another minus 110. But nonetheless, guys, thanks for tuning in to week number 15 here, episode 15 of H2H. If you don't know how this show works, Tasos and I battle it out each and every week. I'm getting tired of saying it hasn't been much of a battle, but yeah, we go round by round picking our favorite plays, but we don't get to pick from everything. A wheel dictates exactly what lane we have to bet in: player props, totals, spreads, money line, that type of thing. We go round by round, snake draft. So yeah, hit that subscribe button, hit that like button. You guys have absolutely been killing it. Our biggest episode to date was last week. Most likes, most views, tons of comments. So appreciate the hell out of you guys. So drop a comment down below. Even with the record where it is, let us know if you're Team Tasos or Team Ev. At the beginning of the year, Tasos, more people are on Team Ev's side. I'd be shocked to see if there's any psychos out there now doing it. And you know what's funny is I have good weeks in the NFL. Like you just catch me. Like I had a winning NFL week last week, and you just seem to just pick apart the ones that I like play. So it makes it tough. But yeah, comment Team Ev or comment Team Tasos down below.
I will say this. If you are Team Ev, I actually give you props because if you're still sticking around at this point, if you're still on the boat, I give you credit. That's a true fan.
That's a real one.
You're still sticking around.
That's a real one. Yeah, I mean, any person with half a brain is probably like, yeah, I'm kind of on Team Tasos. But you know what? Tasos, I have the tenure. Maybe we got some people in my hole here, but you're gonna see a wheel pop up on your screen in just a moment. Here, this wheel is gonna dictate who gets to pick first. Then we'll spin a second wheel, and it's gonna say player prop, spread, that type of thing, so we know what type we're betting. Tasos, you ready to spin?
I am ready.
At this point, I know you always say the world's your oyster. I don't even care where this lands. It's like I gotta throw haymakers. It's probably gonna land on you, and it is.
On me. Yep.
All right, so Tasos is up first here. And Tasos, we got a big board with a bunch of pie slices here, pretty much everything included, anything that you specifically want here.
No, the world's my oyster. What can I say?
I knew it. I knew it.
I'm down for anything.
I knew it. All right, let's spin it. Let's see what we got. I'm kind of feeling spicy with some player props, so
yeah, we haven't had some player props, and we're gonna get a total. We haven't had player props in a little bit. I guess we're still not going to have them for a little bit, but that's okay.
I sound like a broken record, but I don't. It's not that I like the board, but I have a decent list of picks for spreads, player props, money lines. What I don't really love, which figures because this happens to be every single week, I don't love the totals, and that is round number 1 here. So take it away, Tasos. Let's see what you got.
Yeah, this is tough. I'm not really happy we ended up with an over-under because I don't love a lot of the over-unders, but there is a couple interesting spots. I'm going to go with this one, and I feel dirty for taking it because it feels like this game could very much go like 10-3, or it could be like 35-31. I am going Bucks-Packers over 41.5. As someone who had a healthy wager on Green Bay on Monday night, I was very pissed off. They won me a lot of money, so I can't be too mad. But as an owner, very upset with Mondays before. But
I took Giants plus 6.5. Like, how does that not make it into the show? It makes it into my Monday Night Football video, so it's public, it's a win. But there's one where, like, if we talked about that game, I win. But no, head-to-head, you just have a number on me. But, yeah.
Yeah, it just the bright lights get a little too bright for you, I think.
Yep.
But I watched that Green Bay defense, and I'm not that impressed. Like, Tommy DeVito, that last drive, I mean, if they could have went for a touchdown, they would have scored. Like, the only reason they didn't is because they didn't need it. Like, they just did whatever they wanted. Green Bay now, 24 points, 19 points, 22 points, 20 points, 19. So they're going to give up at least 19 points. You got to figure they're going to give up at least 19, 20, 21. The Bucks have some firepower in offense. And on the Packers side, again, they've scored at least, 23, 29, 27, 22. So they're going to score. Mm-hmm. Tampa Bay's side, kind of the same story, right? They just beat Atlanta 29-25. These teams are both very similar in terms of points allowed and points scored. They both score around like 20 to 24 points a game, and they both give up around 20 to 22 points a game. So when the over's 41.5 and they're both giving up those numbers, I think 41.5 is a very reasonable line for them to hit. I think one team here is going to score 27, the other one's going to score 20. I think it's a 27-20 game. I don't know who would win in this shootout. I mean, this is a really important game too. They're both 6-7, battling for that playoff spot in the NFC. I just think 41.5 is a little low of a line, so I'm going to take the over here.
Yeah, I would agree with that. I do think that that's fairly low. The Packers have hit that in 5 straight games, right? And Tampa Bay looks like they've hit that in 4 of their last 7. And I've been saying that all along. I think that even you and when Spence was on the show, you guys were saying that the Packers defense has a little gusto. They really don't. Like, they make some plays, but if you look at some of the games or watch some of the games the Packers have played in, like, their defenses are made to look good by some offenses lapsing. Like, we saw even, like, Detroit's a good example, right? When they played them, it was like, whoa, like, that defense looked good, but no, Detroit's offense stunk. When one offense and one of the worst offenses in the league and the Giants just click for a split second, it's like, oh yeah, this defense, like, really has some holes. Like, that final drive, you're spot on. Like, you're going to give cushion to all these receivers and just let you legitimately walk your chihuahua down the field to be able to win it. Like, it was
wide open, like an easy 30-yard gain right into field goal range. And like I said, if they wanted to, they could have just scored a touchdown. Like, I think they could have kept going, and Green Bay would have had nothing to do with it. The thing that was really alarming to me was that the Giants are like one of the worst offensive lines in the league this year, and Green Bay had no sacks and like no pressures. Like Tommy DeVito had all day back there.
Yep, even to the length of like, and this may be a knock on an offensive line, but like the separation that the linemen were creating in terms of holes and whatnot. Tommy DeVito scrambled so many times
Yeah, I
where
think
it's like
had,
he
what,
could just walk through the
70-something
line.
yards
Yeah.
rushing.
So yeah, I like your spot here. I think that the Packers defense is the exact type of defense that Tampa Bay will look good against. The second, even though, Jair, like they have good defensive players, I don't think they have I don't think they have a good defensive scheme, because if Slayton, if Wan'Dale Robinson, like, are looking good against this Packers defense, technically speaking, the type of offense that Tampa Bay has should definitely be able to do that. So
Yeah.
I don't hate it there. Over 41.5 for minus 110 odds is your first spot there, huh?
Yeah, Green Bay, and it's not even like they have the players, but I think they got to fire their defensive coordinator. Like like I said, I had a pretty healthy wager on it, and watching how, like, there's a minute 40 to go, they have 2 timeouts, they can't get in a field goal range, and you go prevent. Like, what are you thinking? Like, prevent is designed to stop anything deep. They don't need to go deep. They just need to get in the field goal range. Like, I don't understand the methodology behind it. It just, and that scares me. Is like, okay, you got a guy who clearly doesn't know what he's doing, or is not that good of at his job. No offense to him, but that worries me a little bit. So against Tampa Bay offensively, they can put up points.
Yeah, I will give credit. Last thing on this game, I guess, is that route by Wan'Dale Robinson, I think it was Nixon that had like the man-to-man matchup for that last play. He cooked him. Like, that was a route and a half. So it's like he gave him cushion, but the minute they got and broke down each other, Wan'Dale Robinson turned his ankles, which is like, you got to give some credit there. All right, my total, and this is going to be one where somehow this number makes sense and it looks good, but these are two defenses that I don't think are very good, but I'm taking an under. Reason being, because these offenses, I think, stink as well. I'm looking at under 36.5 in the Panthers and the Falcons game here. Tasos, it's just going to be, and this is an alternate line, I'm buying up a couple points just because I think that number is going to be important. So in terms of odds we're looking at, let me get the most up-to-date odds there so we know it. I'm looking at minus 139 over on Caesars. I like the under here just because, well, one, these are two completely sporadic offenses. They played already this season, way back. I think it might have even been the opening week. 24-10. Ends at 34 points. That seems like the type of game that we'll see here. Atlanta's offense, I'll give them credit. They've actually been scoring 20-plus points fairly easily, but it's not like they're playing against any great defenses or world-beater defenses. They played one good defense in their last, 5 games or so, maybe 6 games, and it was the Jets. Now, I'm not saying the Panthers are a good defense whatsoever. We know that, right? But it's like, if the Falcons are going to score 20 points, fine. I don't think that the Panthers are going to go out there and score, 20 points as well. So I'll take the under here, backing two pretty much, I know you don't like Ritter, but backing the Carolina Panthers, who are a dreadful team, and Atlanta, who are on the road, just not playing well on the road this year either. I'll go ahead and go with this pick here. Again, it's an alternate line, minus 136 for, which is interesting, minus 136 for under 36.5. Maybe those numbers are speaking to me there.
Yeah, I can't hate on the pick. Atlanta has.
It's just that's a low number. Like, that's the problem. You know what I mean? Like,
yeah,
if this
it's a little low.
Which
I actually get the Alti-Ev this time. Like, I can actually respect it. I get the point of it. The Panthers have only scored over 20 points 3 times this year. So in 14 games, that means in 11 games they finished under 20. I don't think that changes here. Their offense, I tune into a little bit. I have like Sunday tickets, so I kind of jump games when I watch. I maybe watch like 2 minutes of that Panthers-Saints game.
Enough.
I've said it on other shows, if you watch any like play action takes anything, I don't believe in Bryce Young. I know they don't have a good offensive line. I know he doesn't have weapons, but like I watched him at Bama. I watch him now. I don't think he's going to be a good quarterback. I really don't. And this offense is atrocious. Defensively, they're not that good either. And then on the Falcons side, yeah, I am not a Desmond Ridder guy at all. This game screams under. Like I said, the only reason I personally would be afraid to touch it is because the line is so low, and like a 26-10. Actually, no, that's still. You know what? I like the pick. Like the more and more I think about it, the more I'm like, I can't see. Like, you would need. Like, I don't even see this being 27-14. I don't think Carolina could score 14 points.
Yeah, and again, like 27 from like I think Atlanta. I think this is like a 21-10 type of a game. Even maybe
24-10 last time they played.
Yeah, there you go. And even if Carolina does score, 2 touchdowns, I think that means Carolina kind of has the momentum of the game, and we're looking at like maybe a 21-14 14 game, which still cashes. But that's also why I bought those 2 points there,
Yeah.
because I do think that allows now for, God forbid, 5 touchdowns are scored in this game. It still kind of cashes. So yeah, look at that. We're recording in the morning. We're so much more like cordial in the morning and nice.
The morning recordings are always a little nicer. Where we like each other's picks. Not last week. I remember I saw somebody even comment like, "Damn, Tasso just talks shit," and I'm like, "Yeah." Last week I was watching the video back. I'm like, I was a little frisky last week.
And even like we were both 2-2 last week. Like that wasn't even the week for you to be the savant that you've been on the show. But yeah.
I am on a 15-5 run though over the last 5 weeks. No, not to brag.
That's true. I mean, to be fair, those sweeps that you've been throwing out, 4-0 sweeps, have been helping the thumbnails, and we all know that. So,
yep.
So shout out to you for that. It's like I can take credit for. I'm like yet another sweep, and it's like, yeah, you swept against me, but hey, it ain't a lie. We're not clickbaiting here. We're just click luring. But all right, let's jump in. I'm going to lead off round number 2 here. Again, I want a player prop. Let's see what we get.
Just because you got to remember we learned last week.
Oh, you're right. God forbid. Wow. Oh, Thursday night football play.
We almost had it. We gotta get a player
Thursday night football play. Thursday night. Oh man, I don't know if I like this. Thursday night football play. Okay, I don't hate it. I'll say that right off the rip. But
you don't hate it. This game sucks.
I wasn't. No. I'm saying for you know what? Yeah, for our purposes here, and you know what? I think I'm gonna turn to a player prop in the Thursday night football game. Okay, I'm gonna look at the big tight end who I would say has not been utilized as much as he should, but I'm gonna look at Michael Mayer here for plus 106 odds over 2.5 receptions. So this is a player prop I had on my list, anyways, prior to even thinking Thursday night football. I like the odds here. This is a Chargers defense that allows the 6th most receptions to the tight end position. They allow the 5th most passes per game to the tight end position. We haven't seen this guy totally utilized. They keep talking like big game, like we got to get Mayer involved more and more. You know, he's crucial to us. They haven't been. So, you know, if that's going to be your knock or anyone in the comments knock, like that's fair. But this is a guy that is playing, like he's playing nearly over 90% of snaps. So it's like he's on the field. Can you just look at him? And I think that this is going to be like a sloppiest, bad, you know, not a great game. And those are the type of games, I said it last week with Pat Fryermuth, those are the types of games where I kind of like the tight end to just be a dump-off guy, a cushion guy, a 3-yard catch type of a guy. So Michael Mayer, whatever it is, plus 106 here for over 2.5 receptions.
I don't hate it. As a Notre Dame fan, I'm a big Michael Mayer guy. Unfortunately, the Raiders, there's a reason why I was like, ooh, I kind of made a face when you said prop. These are the 2 teams in football that I probably would never bet a player prop on because they are.
He's only
the
hit this in
weirdest
3 games this entire season. Like it's not. Yeah. This is not. There's a reason why this is plus money, and I recognize that. So
yeah, both of these teams are just a disaster to bet. Like I stopped like 3 weeks ago betting on Raider. Like I would bet like Jacobs yards or like Devontae Adams yards and all that. No, you don't know what you're ever going to get with this team. It's not good. It's ugly. Anytime you think something should happen, it's not going to happen. I do like the spot because I feel like again 3 catches against this Chargers defense, it shouldn't be hard to do. But when you got Aiden O'Connell in that quarterback and you got whoever the hell's calling plays, I don't know who's the play caller anymore. Whoever it is running the offense at this point, I just they don't know what they're doing.
They'll make it hard. They'll make me sweat this one.
Like you said, there's a reason it's plus 106.
Yep.
But I on principle, I don't hate it because in theory, this should be an easy cash. Should be.
God forbid it is.
God forbid that it is.
God forbid it is.
This is Raider Charger football. Like both of these teams are just anytime you think you know or you think you got a good spot, they prove you wrong every time. So,
yep.
You're a bold man for taking a prop in this game. I'll give you that.
Hey, I like the spot. I like the chances. I think it's worth the roll of the dice, and I have to start having some plus money plays because we saw what I did last week, right?
Yeah.
I throw out a fade me that's a pretty significant one, and it bit me in the ass. So I got to have some plus money here. And I took a alternate Alti-Ev on the first play for some additional odds. So I got to buy that back somehow. So I like this spot.
I don't hate it. I think you might have
before the game. I like it.
I think you might have a win here. I'm not gonna.
God forbid it's a win. I'll say that. God forbid.
God forbid. God forbid. I mean, you hit you've been pretty good. You hit the tight end prop last week. Let's see if you can keep hot with it. these over 2.5 reception tight end props.
It's like I hit one. I'm like, oh, there's my specialty. All right, what do you got for Thursday night?
I hate this game. I don't want to bet on it, but if I have to take a pick, give me Raiders -3. You get it at -104 right now on FanDuel. Here's my thought process, and maybe you think it's a stupid opinion, but like it literally just goes. It's as simple as this: the Chargers are one of the they're not very good. Like their wins this year, a lot of them are based on either they're playing a team worse than them or just luck. I think they're an ugly team. I think Brandon Staley's on the way out. The only redeeming factor they had was Justin Herbert, and even he wasn't having that great of a year. But now you take away Herbert and you put in Easton Stick, and now all of a sudden this Charger team that already was bad to begin with just looks even worse. And so the Raiders, to be granted, they don't look good either, but their defense did hold Minnesota to 3 points. And although their offense stinks, the Charger defense is a lot worse than the Viking defense. I think in the quarterback matchup of the century between Aiden O'Connell and Easton Stick,
must watch.
At least O'Connell has now I think it's 6 or 7 starts under his belt. I kind of feel like if I had to pick a side, I'm going to take the side with a defense that's been playing really well, the quarterback that at least has a little bit more experience, and an offense is healthy. Like at least the Raiders still have Devontae Adams and Mayer and Jacoby Myers. Like they just have more right now. And again, another point, these points, maybe they don't make sense to most people, but I'm on John, who I do play action takes with. He's a diehard Raider fan. He talks to me constantly, even sometimes when I don't want to hear it, about the Raiders. And this is just a game. Over the years of being friends with him, I've watched a lot of Raider football. This is one of those games they win. They shouldn't win it because they're 5-8. They should be looking for draft position, trying to tank. But the Raiders love winning these meaningless games that are moral victories, but they hurt their draft position. So I feel like this is one of those games where they're going to win it, and the Raider fans are going to go crazy, and it's a nice win, and look at us, and blah, blah, blah. But then at the end of the year, when you look back, you're going to be like, God damn it, why did we win that game? What benefit did that have for us? Now we have the 11th pick in the draft versus the 6th.
I mean, I feel, and I'll give you 2 trends, I guess, that help your pick. Again, I think both of us are kind of psycho for taking this, but again, that's the power of the wheel. We wouldn't choose this game if we didn't want to. No. Even that Michael Mayer was kind of, like I said, it's on my list, but it was on the brink. But I will say in the last, I think it's 5 meetings now, it's gone Chargers, Raiders, Chargers, Raiders, Chargers. Now it's the Raiders' turn if you follow that trend. And also the Raiders, 4-2. I just looked at it. I would not have guessed this. 4-2 against the spread at home this season. So it's obviously they're not winning games, but that's not a small sample size. That's actually pretty good. And we know that those are rabid fans and whatnot. Maybe somehow they get up for it. I'd love to know what those are as favorites. What are they at home as favorites type of thing? Maybe it's not as good. But again, it's not really a spot. What am I supposed to sit here and argue that the Chargers will cover? How it's I'm not gonna. Similar to how you're I guess it's a decent pick, but it's a crazy game with my prop. It's what am I supposed to be no, the Chargers? Are you kidding me? That that defensive line or Austin Eckler? It's no, the team stinks. Even Austin Eckler, it's he would be obviously so much better somewhere else. He's a guy that is printing unders this season compared to what he's done in years past. So, I think we kind of we are at mercy and at will of the wheel there. But you know what? 2 could hit plays. Because I mean, you should even admit it wouldn't be crazy if the Chargers just win this game. They could blow out the Raiders. This is a messy game. Yeah. So it's
I think my thing is that another big point for me is just I feel like Brandon Staley's done. I feel like this is it. Usually what Brandon Staley does is he gets to the point right where he's ready to get fired, and then he wins and he saves himself for another week. I feel like he's run out of that. I feel like this is it. I feel like it's the scene from Goodfellas where they're driving him to to get made, and he actually gets whacked. It feels like it's all right, this is it. It feels like honestly, they lose this game, they probably fire him this week. I'm not gonna lie. I
think that the nail in the coffin for everyone's vibe there would probably be Herbert going down. You know what I mean?
Herbert down, and they lose to the Raiders.
Yeah, it's so it's a almost obvious spot for that. Is it too obvious? Is this the week where it's oh no, we do win? Who knows? It's a messy game, but you know what? I think we did our best at picking spots in there.
You know what the sad part is though? I would love to say that I'm not going to bet this game in real life, but the truth is I'm
Thursday
probably
Night
going to bet
Football.
this line. I'm probably going to take Raiders -3 and put a healthy amount on it, like because I'm crazy and I need action. I want to have action on the game because the thing is, I'm not going to watch this game unless I have something on it.
Hey,
Like
you've been pissing excellence. I almost
Yeah.
said picking excellence, which you've been picking
I
excellence
mean, which
too.
is also
But
true. That's why I legalized sports betting, man. It's the NFL. All these leagues, they're smart for pushing it because who watches this Thursday Night Football game if there's no money? You know what I mean? Like if you don't have
Yep.
a dog in the fight or a dog in the race, I should say. Like what? Why would you watch this game
yeah, settle
as
down,
a
Michael
normal
Vick.
human being? But when you got money on it, now all of a sudden, yeah, Aiden O'Connell and Easton Stick, sign me up.
All right. We got round number 3 here. Tasos, I'm sharp in the morning. I know you're leading us off in this round. It's round number 3. I'm not losing the order. I'm getting pretty good at this. I might not be beating you in the picks, but I'm getting better.
You drink beer while we usually record at nighttime. I think you need the coffee. I think the coffee helps.
It probably keeps me a little bit sharper, just a little bit. But all right, let's see what we got.
I don't remember what your record was.
No way. No.
No! Oh no!
No.
God, what do I do? I had one pick for this game. One pick. Just because in case we had it.
Oh my God. All right. That is an all-time FU. We're talking smack to the wheel, like, oh, we're at the mercy of the wheel. All this is like bet. Oh man, this just pulled the bottom Jenga piece out and we just crumbled. We're gonna have 4 picks out of our 6 in Thursday Night Football.
I don't even remember what I was talking about, and now I'm just shell shocked. Like that's the last thing that I would have wanted to see. The world wasn't my oyster. That's the one thing I couldn't see 2 of was the Thursday Night Football play. All right, wow. God, I guess I'm gonna have to go with a player prop here because I don't want to touch that total because I learned, last week of that Pat Steelers game, like the under seemed so obvious and the over cashed in the first half. Mm-hmm. This is another game like that where I feel like it could, the Raiders coming off 0 points. Chargers coming off, they scored 7 points, 6 points. It feels like an over could definitely hit here. All right, we'll go with this one, even though I just kind of we just talked about how he's not really working on this team. We'll go with it. I'm going to go Austin Eckler, over 26.5 receiving yards, minus 115 on DraftKings. It's kind of the same thing with your Michael Mayer pick. I just feel like Easton Stick's going to dump it down. And I feel like there's going to be a lot of screens to Eckler and a lot of, dump downs to the running back. So, yeah, I don't really have much more rationale than that. I don't think he's been hitting. Like, I don't think he's not. I don't think he's not having a good year at all. But considering what's available in front of me,
he's hit it in 6 of 10. So it's like not terrible. He had 49 last week. So like, okay.
Yeah, I mean, Easton Stick played most of that game. So I mean, that was Easton Stick throwing to him. So I guess that is positive.
All right. Well, I guess I'll give you mine because it's also an Austin Eckler prop, so then we can talk Austin Eckler. Okay. I'm going to just take a flyer here. Austin Eckler, anytime TD for plus 170. So, you know what? He has, like 4 touchdowns in the entire year. I don't know if this cashes, but for plus 170, he's the running back. Give me one goal line situation or something and let him put it in. But, yeah, I guess we're both backing a guy that, like I said, Austin Eckler literally has been, like, printing unders in almost any stat this season, which it's not really his fault. I like him. He's like a gritty type of guy, earns that spot from Melvin Gordon years back, keeps it. But at the same time, like, are we sold that Austin Eckler's good? Not to make this a whole nother tangent, but like, or did he have a couple good years and now he's just kind of like a meh type of guy? Like, he's dynamic, but is he really like a, think about it. A couple years ago, he was getting drafted super high in fantasy and all this. Like, is he that guy?
I think it's kind of a Charger thing because like even like with Melvin Gordon, like there was a couple years there where like, wow, Melvin Gordon, like this guy's really good. Like he's putting himself in that conversation. He's one of the best running backs in the league. And then the Chargers kind of hand it over to Eckler. He leaves, and Melvin Gordon just kind of fades off into obscurity. And it's like it feels like the same thing with it feels like the Chargers, they squeeze everything they can get out of these guys for a couple years. Yeah. And then they're done. And I think Eckler, I mean, he's more of a receiving back. I feel like if you put him on another team, he'll be successful. I think as more of a receiving back, as a running back, I don't think he's ever been like that crazy good. Like he's solid, but I think most of his work gets done in the passing game. So I do think if you're an Eckler fan, if you're looking for a positive or a silver lining, I think he could fit in a lot of teams and I think his game will age decently well because again he's more of a receiver than he is a running back. I think at this point in his career, but I don't know. Out of all the props I could have taken, I've learned the hard way. I don't want anything from the Raiders, and it was like, all right, if I'm gonna go Chargers, Keenan Allen, but like an Easton stick, throw it deep. I don't really. So it's like honestly at this point, it's like Eckler or like Gerald Everett over in catches was like my two options. I'm like, all right, I guess I'll go with Eckler. We'll ride with him and hope that he has a day. I don't hate your touchdown pick. I'm gonna be honest. I actually like kind of scares me a little bit because plus 170 is a lot. It does scare me a little bit because I do think he will be dumping it down. I could see like if they do somehow get in the red zone, screen pass or a dump down to Eckler and he scores. So
yeah, so I mean, what that'd be a kick in your crotch if it's a 27-yard touchdown. Actually, it might be better because then it's like you negate a little bit, but
you still win the round though. So that's
true. But anyways, I mean, it is what it is. We have 4 picks in Thursday Night Football, which is crazy. At least we'll have a fade me round here, which I think we got to just make a vow to each other not to pick anything.
I was gonna say, do we go crazy and just take another one? Just go Thursday night again?
We've been acting like, oh, we don't like it, but it's kind of like when we try to reverse jinx it, like we actually love this game. But all right, let's toss up the wheel for one last round here. Tasos, I want you to get fade me here because I have a couple of plays.
I haven't had it in a while. I think it's been like I think it's been like a month.
Yeah, it's been like all me. So I don't want it. If I get it, I have a couple in my pocket. So just know that, wheel gods up there. Like it's not like I'm afraid of this wheel.
God forbid you get it.
Yeah, God forbid you get it. No. All right, let's spin it. Let's see what you got. Do you have anything that's like a fade me-esque pick, or
I had a lot of stuff ready for the show, and it's like we got all used. It's you. We got it all used on Thursday night. Like, I was good last night before I went to bed. I'm like, all right, I like this. I had a couple picks. I come in with like 5 or 6 picks prepared, and then I kind of go on the fly. This week I actually had like 7, 8 picks prepared, and I used one of them, just one.
Figures.
So,
all right. So in terms of this pick, I am actually.
I guess I'll just get comfortable here. Nothing I can really do.
Oh boy. I don't know if you're gonna like your side of it, but I'm gonna take an underdog because again, I'm taking flyers out here. This has worked for you this season. So for anyone being like, oh, Ev, why would you take an underdog? I've tried to take the heavy favorites, and I hand you plus 300 wins, okay? So I'm flipping the script here. I'm going to the Titans and Texans game. I'm looking at the Texans on the money line, plus 120. Titans, honestly, have looked kind of good. I've been spot on with Derrick Henry on this show the last few weeks. He's starting to get going. That worries me plenty. I'll admit that. This isn't a very, bad Texans run defense. It's not a bad Texans defense overall. My concern with the Titans, right? So that's why I'm on the Texans side of things, is if the Texans have sort of an explosive offensive day, which they've had in the past. No, Tank Dell makes things a little iffy, I guess, but they're definitely capable of having an explosive day. I don't think the Texan. What? Yes, Tasos?
I wanna just ask because the way you're talking, you do realize that C.J. Stroud's not playing, right?
Concussion protocol. You're right.
He's out. He's got a concussion.
Rolling with it. I got to go.
All
with
right.
the vibes.
I wanted to give you. I'm giving you a chance. If you want to,
what's even worse?
As a fair man, if you want to opt out, because the way you were, I could tell by the way you were talking. I'm like, do you not realize that Stroud's not playing?
You know what's bad about that, which is like hand up, even worse. I would almost like to say, oh, I didn't know he was out, and it's like, oops, I knew he was out. As I'm going through this, forgot he was out.
Because you were going okay offensive, and you were like, oh, Tank Dell is out. I'm like, out of all the names to start with, you don't start with Stroud.
Hey, guess what? It's a fade me pick, and I like this is if it is more of a against the Titans type of bet, regardless.
So you're sticking with it.
I am sticking with it. Yes.
All right. I thought it'd be fair. I was going to be a fair guy.
Actually, now that I think that who's their backup? Keenum.
Davis Mills.
But Case Keenum is also. I think he's. Let's see.
Is he in line to start? I feel like
no. I think he was. I think that they were saying it was either him and then he got ruled out. So I think I saw that on Twitter. Regardless, I still like it. It's a bet against the Titans. They beat Miami. I don't think that they win 2 games in a row. This is a team that is kind of in limbo, I would say. They're going win-loss, 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 win-loss. They've lost to bad teams. They've beat good teams. For plus 120, CJ Stroud, no Tank Dell, whatever.
No
Give me the
Dalton
Texans.
Schultz.
No Dalton Schultz. Oh, I don't really. That honestly doesn't impact. I know you're a big Dalton Schultz guy. That doesn't really impact my.
He was
my
before he got
thought process.
hurt. He had like as a guy who owned him in every fantasy league. He had like 3 weeks in a row where he had like 30 points.
Oh, whatever. But anyways, I do think that the Texans win this game. CJ Stroud, that's a blunder because, like I said, I'd like to be like, oh no, I didn't know. Can I switch it? I got to be honest with myself. I was aware that he was out. Started doing more looking into this game and just forgot he was out. So I have to stick with it.
All right, I give you credit.
Hey.
Like I said, I wanted to be nice and offer it, but I give you credit for sticking with it because I do think had you switched it, I'm not going to lie, I would have used it against you if you had switched it. I would have said next week if you won, like, hey, you had to switch a pick, so we'll put a little asterisk next to that. But
ooh, do I double down now?
You doubled down on this game. You know what?
Cancel the show.
I'm doubling down on the Titans. Give me the double down. Can I double down on a fade me?
What do you think? I'm
down for it. I'm going to double down.
All right, rule moving forward. You can double down on your side.
I got a lot of units to play with here. You know, as a winner of, you know, I got a 6-game advantage. I got some room to play with here. I don't want to be mean, but I don't like this pick for you. I don't like.
Well, I swear this is more of a pick against the Titans. I don't think
I
they
get
win
it,
two
but
games
I do think now Tennessee, they're not mathematically eliminated. They're probably not, but like they win here, all of a sudden they're 6-8. Houston's down to 7-7. Only a game separates these two.
Yeah, I think, and wouldn't you? I guess you would say that like even though Houston's ahead of them, like Tennessee feels like they probably have more to play for in a sense. Like they're gritty, and that's like such a gritty team. But I just don't trust that. Like I even started off being like, if Derrick Henry gets it going, that's how they win games. Like
well, even
they
like
can rely on him. But
that Dolphins game, like Will Levis and DeAndre Hopkins, like that's a connection. Those two have been hitting.
Yeah.
Like the rest of their offense besides those three guys is not good. Like they don't have anything else. But like that big three of Levis, Hopkins, and Henry, and they have I guess they have Tajay Spears too. But like they're not bad, and defensively they're not great. But like again, when you have Davis Mills, you know, no Stroud, no takedown, no Dalton Schultz, they can't really run the football well at all. They haven't been running the football well at all season.
No, bouncing between what's his name and Singletary. They don't even really know who should get the
Singletary
majority.
and then what's the Damian Pierce?
Pierce, yeah.
They don't really run the ball well. Davis Mills throwing to Nico Collins.
Don't forget Davis Mills was kind of on fire for a
like
little
1
while.
year.
Yeah,
like
maybe like 4 weeks.
I was gonna say 4 weeks in 1 year. Yeah. And the defense, like I watched that game last week. I know Stroud went out, but like watching that game last week with the Texans, I was like, yeah, this team, they're gritty and they have fight, but they're not. You're starting to see why people in the preseason were like, "Oh, this team is not very good." Like they don't. They're not the most.
I've been on
team.
that beat. I've been on that beat that this was a hype team. People like them. They are gritty, but like they'll kind of fall short. That's
like
injuries.
Zach Wilson torched them. Zach Wilson threw over 300 yards on them.
Yeah, that's got to be an outlier though. Like even that's not like a Texans product of their defense. That is just Zach Wilson had one good game finally.
I think it might be a product of the defense. Like
I'm surprised that you doubled down because even with no Stroud, Dell, Schultz, like this is still a Titans team that like you just named the big three, Levis, Hopkins, and Henry. Like if one of those guys struggles, this is a Titans team that struggles to put points up. You know what I mean? So it's like that's a strong ballsy double down. You're betting a lot on those injuries.
Here's the thing. I think I need to use a double down if I'm going to win this week because you do have those underdog lines. And I could see both hitting. And so, like, I'm like, all right, if you hit both of those, I'm really in a bad spot. This fade me, I think, could be my salvation here. Double down.
It's a good spot to double down. I had a slip up of the pick. So it's like you're capitalizing on that. You know what I mean? So it's like I kind of hear you.
I watched the end of that Dolphins game and how they the last, like, 4 minutes and how they just – and the Dolphins don't have a great defense, but, like, they're not bad. And, like, Will Levis, 2 touchdown drives.
Yep.
Impressed me. And like I don't think the Titans team's great, but against a banged up Texans team, I think Tennessee wins this one. I think they come out on top. It makes the AFC playoff race a lot more interesting because now all of a sudden Tennessee will be right there in the mix. So
yeah,
I don't know. I think this is it was an interesting decision by you to say the least.
Yeah, I would put it at that. Interesting. But I do have. So what is that now? The first I have 3+ money plays on the board, which is
I think you should double down.
which I can't double down.
I think you should double down.
You double down. I can't double down.
All right, fair.
I'm not doing it. I'm not being bullied into it. In fact, this was all my scheme to get you to double down. And plus, like CJ Stroud, like it would be. I think he's in concussion protocol. That doesn't necessarily mean he misses the game, right?
No, I think they said he has a concussion. Like I'm pretty sure, like he's.
Well, come on,
he's
throw some dirt on it, buddy. Dude.
That's why I think that's the only reason why they're underdogs here.
Yeah, I know.
Like,
I know.
I was saying,
I know. I'm just holding out for.
Would...
Hey, we'll see. You never know. We got a couple. Oh my God! Imagine I'm sure he's out, but imagine he gets ruled in. You doubled it down. I got odds at plus 120. They go to. Come on. I need H2H gods. Like you gotta give me something here.
That would be one of the. I honestly, if I saw that tweet come up, that's like a spit your coffee out kind of moment. It's like, what the hell? What?
I feel like he is out though because
I don't think unless somehow he slips the concussion protocol and. Somehow, gets out of it and just show, hey, listen, if this was 1990, he's playing on Sunday. So,
yeah, I mean, they'll just be like, hey, what's 2 + 2? He's like, something like 3 or 4. Like, you're good.
All right, close enough.
Yeah, close. Get in there, kid. Slap him on the ass. But all right, that's gonna do it for episode 15. We haven't missed a week yet. We've got these out, so credit to us, Tasos. Again, we had a bunch of people comment this last week, which is crazy. If you're still watching right now, comment fade me. The fact that we have people, and I mean this so like vulnerably, right? The fact that we have people that sit through our annoyances, our jabs at each other for 40+ minutes is a luxury for us. You know what I mean? Like it's an absolute blessing that we were even able to do this. So thank you guys for everyone that's watching. We're still cruising in terms of gaining new subscribers and garnering new viewers. Tasos, you threw out the goal last week. It's a lofty one. I doubt we hit it. God forbid we do 45K by the end of the year. I think we just got to 42, which is like, that's literally like 1,500 from last episode. Do you know what I mean? Like we're moving
more subscribers before January 1st, which it's possible. We're going to get close. It's going to be close, but I think it's possible.
Yeah. So, I mean, it's crazy. We're cruising. We're not, we're not taking days off, or when me and Tasos have like scheduling conflicts, we make this happen. You know what I mean? Like we're up early doing this one. Like we want these shows to get out to you guys. We love doing it. Love the interaction you guys are bringing. So not to get all sentimental at the end of the video, but truly, like I think I speak for both of us saying thank you guys for the support here. We literally hit 40K and it's like zoom right past. Like we didn't even get to stop and smell the roses at 40 because you guys are such psychos. So appreciate it.
And I want to offer an apology to everybody because this is the second week in a row now where if you look at the games of all of our picks, we have the worst games. We have the Bucks and the Packers, which I guess is okay.
I wouldn't say it. I think that fits in.
We got the Panthers and the Falcons. We got 4 picks on Chargers Raiders, and then the fade me is Titans Texans.
We know how to do it. We know how to do it.
I was listening to you, but in the back of my mind, I was trying to recap my picks, and I'm like, what the hell? Like, this is 2 weeks in a row. We're like, it's just bad games.
But that's what we do here. We make the bad games fun. That's
exactly
what we do. The wheel was like, no, you're gonna get viewership to this Thursday night football game. That is a
listen.
fact.
We all know you guys are gonna watch Cowboys Bills, so we don't need to help you guys watch it. Like,
yeah, exactly.
You guys are not gonna watch Panthers Falcons, but guess what? Maybe now you will.
Fair enough. But yeah, all right. I think that's gonna wrap for week number 15. Again, I need to win 7 of the next 8 here. Well, let's see if I started. I took a few flyers, but you can't win 7 of the next 8 without. Well, I guess I could.
One first.
Yeah, but I was going to say, like,
start with
but
one.
I technically,
you were a football coach. Hey,
let's
get one. Let's get one. Let's focus on this week.
I was going to say I can't win 7 of the next 8 without winning this week, but that's not true. I could technically lose this week.
Yeah, you could lose this week, then you would need 7 in a row to close out.
But let's just start with 1. That's a good way to say it. So, all right, guys, we'll catch you guys in the next one.